My opponent cheated. 0 inaccuracies, 0 mistakes, 0 blunders in a 3 minutes game. If you've been in this situation, then this video is for you. Let me show you a casual game of my own where white could have easily been reported, except he's not a cheater. And I'm not saying that my opponent reported me or anything. I'm just saying that someone could look at this game, or the opponent, let's say, the one who lost, and say, such accuracy, such good play, white must be a cheater, and report. But let's have a look at the game first and then draw some conclusions. So I started with d4. Okay, my opponent replied to the French defense. Okay, so as usual, I'm not commenting a lot on the opening moves. Now it's a moment worth stopping because the bishop went to g5 initially, and in a lot of these games it comes to g5 specifically for provoking h6. And now the point is that bishop should not go to h4 because this becomes not the ideal, not the best diagonal for the bishop, but instead bishop just needs to come back. And also not to d2 because d2 needs to be left vacant for the queen. So the game continued, bishop on g4 pinning the knight, and now bishop takes. Okay, so as you can see, white has a very strong center already. The king is in the center. That's not very good, but black doesn't have any means to reach the king so fast. And also look at the bishops. They are very nicely placed, and also white has already an open g file for attacking the black's king. Okay, so now white attempts to close the center. And now the queen is aligned to the bishop, looking at the h6 square. Okay, and now this, what does it do? It looks like it's blocking the attack on the pawn on h6, but it actually just creates more weaknesses around the king. Okay, so white immediately uses this opportunity. Okay, and now takes with the knight. And now white has finished the development, castled. It has really good placed white pieces, except maybe the bishop on d3. It's not doing much because on the queen side there's no activity, so it's not useful there. And also the pawn on e4, it's blocking it, so it doesn't do anything at all. So now this the knight took on f3, but this only helps white in the end because the queen comes to attack it. Okay, the black queen comes to defend. Rook is attacking the knight and at the same time improves its position, and then eventually comes on g3 to align itself with the black's king. And you can see that there's no g-pawn, so it's only the two pieces that stops the rook from attacking. Okay, now the rooks are just doubled on the g-file, pretty obvious move. And now black takes the light square bishop, which wasn't doing much anyway, so this trade can only be good for white. So the pawn takes. Why not the queen? Because the queen needs to be available on this diagonal for joining the attack on the black's king. So takes, and you can see already it's a very difficult situation for black. Okay, now the queen joins the attack, there's a check, there's a trade of queens, and then the bishop just falls. Okay, so eventually white came out with an extra piece. And also, as you can see, the black's pawns, they're all blocked. There's no passed pawn, so there's not a lot of counter chances for black. So the king goes immediately away from this file, from the c file, because then takes and then the knight cannot take because it's pinned. Okay, so takes the pawn, and you can see the f7 square becomes a big weakness because the rook is just stuck defending it. It cannot move because otherwise the position is just falling apart. Okay, so white is pushing the pawns, looking for some activity, creating some chances for its knights to be more active. So the pawn is defended, cannot be taken by the rook, and also the two white rooks, they again piled up against the f7 pawn, so the rook is just forced to come back. Now the knight is just shuffling around what knights are good for, and you can see that the h rook, it tries to to move around, to try to capture some pawns probably, but there's not much use for this rook, for this movement. Okay, I'm not going to comment this move so much because they are not very difficult to find. Okay, white just systematically pushes the pawns, wants to exchange them, probably win the f7 pawn, and then just mate the probably even exchange the rooks, and then create a new queen and mate the king. Okay, so mm, at this moment the opponent just lost on time, but as you can see, the position was already helpless. So in conclusion, I can say that this game, in this game, black has done few mistakes. So it played on the wrong flank and exposed his king to white's attack. Did not play attacking moves, and the moves that looked attacking, like for example capturing on f3 and capturing the white's bishop on d3 with a knight, only helped white in the end. Once white had the decisive advantage, it was fairly easy to win. Black also made a bad piece exchange, and namely the good knight for the passive bishop on d3, which we talked already about. And one of the black rooks was stuck defending the f7 pawn, while the other was not really posing any threats. So, since cheating is a hot topic at the moment, and there's a lot of suspicious, especially, okay, I'm not talking about the games or at my level, you can say club player, amateur player, especially on the highest level. Of course, there's a lot of talk about it. So I decided this was a good example of my own games to show you that it's not so clear. So once you dig deeper into the game, you can easily understand that this game, particularly, it was not a case of cheating. White did not play extremely well, just understood the position better and used the positional weaknesses created by black. So just to add that white played with the accuracy of 98%, only 8 centipawn losses, which is really good game. But then again, nothing special was done in this game. There was no brilliant sacrifices or long-term positional ideas. It was just fairly a fairly easy game to play. So next time you analyze your games before reporting your opponent, and enjoy chess.